Before we get started today, I just wanted to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I love using their platform to manage our website because it just makes my life so much easier, but I'll get more into that later. Today is all about the travel journal, and this is the entry that we made about Slovenia. Lou and I spent about 2 days, I think, at Lake Bled, and it was just a stop on our road trip down to Greece, and it was the perfect stop. I mean, these views, it's insane. And yeah, I was really trying to think about what I wanted to talk about today, and I kept coming back to this strange idea that there's always 24 hours in a day, and how wildly different our days are in the van. And some of them are filled with so much exploration, like this one at Lake Bled. You know, we woke up early, we went to the lake, I drew, we went on a rowboat, then a storm came, we went hiking. It just like kept going and going, and it was the most beautiful thing, and it was just crazy how many things we could fit into one day. And then these other days on the road trip, I would just sit in the car for like 8 hours as Lou drove us. And I think that's one of the things that is so beautiful about life and van life too, is how differently we can choose to spend our time, and how in the end Lou and I are so grateful that this is our experience. I mean, this rowboat was probably one of the coolest things we've done. It's so simple, but look at this lake. Like, I don't know, it really blew me away. And we spent a lot of time out here it was only technically, I think, like an 8-minute row from the little boathouse over to the island with the church, but we just played around going zigzag. Lou like put up the drone. I ended up like drawing that portrait of Lou from the water, so it was like on a rocking boat, and I don't know, it was just like such a special time. Oh man, I don't know if this is going well.
It's going great. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Oh man, Lou's here. Sometimes I get nervous talking to you guys. No, okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so this is the journal. I am tearing Lou's little portrait out, and over there on the right is this little like doily. I don't know, it's like a thing that they had under the teapot. Later we go get a pot of tea on the island, and I saved that because getting tea is like our one like special indulgence. We don't really eat out a lot, so I feel like when we can go to a place and just sit and enjoy time together, it feels really precious. So I took that with me. And then also in the journal, I have this book that we got in Barcelona. It's like this weird book of a little kid like playing with a skunk or something, and that little boy is in a canoe, and it kind of made me think of our time on the lake, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to draw the rowboat, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, this is perfect. One of the other things that really stuck with me from our time in Lake Bled was how beautiful the color of the water was. It was like not like a normal lake that's in like blue. It was actually kind of teal or green. And so then I took the Nat Geo and I pulled all these different images that reminded me of the color of the lake. It was like cactuses and other bodies of water, and like I think some stained glass or something. And so then I pulled those all up and kind of turned them into a collage at the bottom of the page to represent the lake. Oh yeah, this is where I started learning Greek. I was working really hard to see if I could get myself not even conversational, just like learn as much as I could, so that when we got to Greece, I could chit chat with people and hopefully even ask them to let me draw their portrait. I think Lou made a video about that, and hopefully it will be up this time last week. So I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it was a really fun experience. And so yeah, on the road trip, my goal was to get as much Greek in as I could, so I used this time on the island just to study a little bit more while we had tea. And that's the portrait I was telling you about before. I really love how it turned out, and it made me want to start doing more portraits in colored pencil. I feel like having this like one color to do a whole portrait is a really fun way to look at it, and I ended up sketching a bunch in my sketchbook later, so it might be a recurring theme in the future. And so this page is now like coming together, this side of the entry, and it took me a while to figure out exactly how I wanted to do it, and I ended up seeing there on that doily thing, under my T, I used colored pencil to fill in the little holes between it because it felt like a little bit flat with having just the white on white. So I did like the same colors of the lake. Here's some more colored pencil practice. it's funny, colored pencils, I find them, they get dull so quickly. And I'm like, do I bring out my pencil sharpener with me as I draw? I don't know if any of you guys are colored pencil whizzes out there. Let me know, because I feel like within like, I don't know, 30 seconds of using a pencil, it's already dull. Is that just normal? I'm not really sure what to do there. But it was really fun to just bring a pencil case and not have to carry water or anything. And yeah, I liked it a lot. Okay, so this is the hike that we did in the afternoon, and we found out that there was a hike right next to the campsite where we were, and there were 2 different spots that you could go up, and it wasn't even that far. You could get this incredible view of the entire lake, and so we set out on foot with the camera, and I'm really happy that we got a little hike in too. It's like what I was talking about earlier about how much you can really fit in one day if like the outings are small. I feel like within one day at Lake Bled, we really saw it all. We got these like vantage points. We did the rowboat. We walked around on the island. And then at night, we ended up actually walking all the way to the other end there. Oh, actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about this too. Maybe there's somebody out there who knows what I'm supposed to do, but so I was trying to do the like wet on wet technique to get the color of the lake correctly. And so then I put the water down on the page and I added the like turquoise and blues and had them blend together. But then my paper got like kind of wrinkly, so I wasn't exactly sure if maybe I just don't have the right paper, but I actually like how it turned out. And you know, it was fun to use watercolor in the way it's supposed to be used, I think. It's like, so it actually blends together. And so, yeah, I did that little landscape painting, and then I took another photo that Leo had taken and did it in colored pencil because I kind of wanted to see the difference between the 2 mediums as they represented our time there. So I did the watercolor and then I did this, and I really do love reflections, so it was fun to get a chance to draw them, though I don't really know how to draw water. It is something that I'm working on. I think it just takes a little practice, and maybe I need to look at some studies and see how other people represent like the different tones in the water and their reflection and how it captures light. And so yeah, those are the 2. And then I found the map that I had picked up at the campsite, and so I wanted to include that. And I don't know, it took me a little while to get my bearings when I started this entry, and I think that that's really normal. Not every single one comes, I can like plan and it comes together perfectly. This one was a lot of like putting different things on the paper, moving them around, and I think that's actually really fun because sometimes you can go in with a full plan and it goes completely the way you want, and other times it's nice to let it happen as it goes. And oh yeah, I wanted to include writing in it, just like I do in all of them, so this is what I wrote. In a way, everywhere we go is just another stop on the road trip, an excuse to stretch our legs, explore a new spot, take some photos, draw some pictures, and then hop back into Odie to keep the adventure going. Sometimes in van life, our dream locations happen to fall in the perfect spot on the map. Headed to Greece from Germany to escape the rain, Lou and I set out on a 2,000-kilometer road trip, and I couldn't believe my luck when Lou told me that Lake Bled was on the route. I've been wanting to explore Slovenia since our days back in Berlin, and while we decided to keep chasing the sun and head south instead of exploring more of the country, I'm so happy we decided to spend 2 nights here. We rode and hiked and took moonlit strolls around the lake, and it was one of the moments that even while they're unfolding, you can't believe how beautiful life is, that places like this exist, like people like him exist. And so yeah, that was the little written words that I had included, and I think it really summed up our time at the lake beautifully. And this is how the spread turned out. I had little ducklings on the corner because we met some ducks on the way, and the swans as well. And it all came together nicely, I think, because I tried to use a similar color palette with just a little bit of accents. It's funny, sometimes I think that like the entry itself is beautiful, but it's really like the whole tablescape with the art supplies and the moment of actually creating. Like, yeah, the final product I love, but it's really that special time that I make for myself to enjoy reflecting on our travels and just drawing. And I think that the actual thing that I have is wonderful, but it's the making of it that makes me so happy. So there it is. That's the whole spread, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I just wanted to say thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video once again. You can go to squarespace.com/wildweroam and use our offer code wildweroam at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace is such a wonderful tool when you want to build a website because their modern templates make your website look beautiful so easily. And then if you ever do run into any problems, they have incredible customer support, which I've used myself. And thank you for watching this video and joining me for this travel journal. It was a really special day, and I'm so happy we got to share it with you. And if you're enjoying these, subscribe or watch another one. And most of all, have a good day, and thanks for sharing your time with us.